Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. I am out here on a hiking trip, discovering some beautiful new places to enjoy a river, some nice swimming pools, with some nice hiking, and even several beautiful, secluded hiking spots. This is a beautiful place that I'm in here, and what's also beautiful is the timing. I didn't intend to be out in nature hiking on my own today in accordance with what's happening right now astrologically. And as I was here just meditating and being in gratitude of where I am, I decided to look at the stars and see where the planets are right now. And Mercury literally just entered 20 degrees Cancer, and the sun is at 20 degrees Cancer. So, literally, right now, as I sit here, to find a moment of peace, to find a moment of clarity within myself, to feel, to come home to myself. This Mercury retrograde is meeting with the sun. This is known as the inferior conjunction, or more commonly known as the Kazimi, the Mercury Sun Kazimi. And this is always a significant transit. We experience Sun Mercury Kazimis about 6 times a year because Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year. So in a retrograde cycle, that means we're now set up to have 2 Mercury Kazimis, because majority of the time Mercury is ahead of the sun, moving in forward direction. And so when Mercury retrogrades, he's now moving reverse towards the sun, and during the retrograde he crosses over the sun. And then when Mercury completes the retrograde cycle, he then moves direct, moving forward towards the sun. And as he crosses over the sun again, that's the second Kazimi. So we experience this phenomenon with Mercury and the sun a few times a year. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year, and Mercury crosses the sun 6 times a year. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Mercury will never be more than 30 degrees away from the sun. And this is a significant cosmic dance between the mind and our conscious awareness, our body, our spirit. Because Mercury represents the mind, information, processing information, and communication, and the nervous system, whereas the sun represents our conscious awareness. And conscious awareness is different than the mind processing information. And so majority of the time, about 70-80% of the year, Mercury is in forward direction ahead of the sun, which means our thinking and all the information and the things that we are doing and navigating through the mundane is happening before our conscious awareness is fully tuned in to the noise, to the information, to the agreements, to the contract, to the processes and the development of things. For example, what's a good example? I don't want to use the same example that I normally give, but so I'm trying to think of something else in regards to information and the conscious awareness arriving to the information. So, for example, I'm about to go to Ecuador, And me going to Ecuador, this decision I made about 2.5 months ago. And with that is all sorts of new informations, because I just agreed and consented to move towards a direction somewhere, which means flight plans, travel, what do I need to bring, what am I going to experience there at Vision Quest. So all of these things that my conscious awareness didn't fully arrive to in the understanding. And so it's so interesting, because when I woke up this morning, the first thing that I thought of was, oh my God, I have a headache because I slept funny on my pillow. And then I thought, oh, when I'm in Vision Quest, dry fasting on the mountain for 4 days, 4 nights, you know, on a mountain peak that's one of the closest sources to the sun, just because of where it sits on the equator. I woke up that morning at 6 in the morning thinking, I should probably find a camping pillow or something to bring with me on this Vision Quest. And one thing led to another of like, wait a minute, how do I travel abroad with a backpack? Because I'm not bringing luggage. I'm not bringing a luggage in a suitcase. I'm bringing a backpack with gear to be out in a Vision Quest ceremony with a tribe and other students for 3 weeks. Something I've never done before. And so it's interesting that on a day like today, as I'm 3 weeks away from taking my flight to Ecuador, my conscious awareness is arriving to a new level of what it means in all the information that I've agreed to do. So it's all sort of sinking right now, sinking into my awareness of like, oh, okay, so like I should start doing this, I should start doing that, I need to get ready, I need to get dialed in, I need to start tuning into what it is that I'm doing. And it's not that I haven't been doing that. Like, I already have my plane ticket, I already know, I already read the documents, I've already signed certain things, but it was all in the mental, the mind. My conscious awareness separate. So it's always a significant time when Mercury retrograde crosses over the sun, because it is a necessary period in time where we can catch up with ourselves and we can check in. Okay, are the decisions I'm making still in alignment? Are the agreements that I've been making still in resonance? What do I need to reevaluate? What do I need to reassess? Where in my life do I need to check in and see what bits and pieces I may have overlooked and may not have been aware of yet? So it's very important. And this Mercury Kazimi, this Mercury inferior conjunction, it's happening in the sign of Cancer. And Mercury is going to be in Cancer for an extended period of time. We've already been dealing with Mercury in Cancer for about 5, maybe 6 weeks. And we probably have another 6 weeks to go of Mercury in Cancer. Very long time for Mercury to stay in one sign, and a water sign. So this Kazimi period right now is significant, because not only is the mind meeting with the sun so we can have an epiphany, because if you can think, our conscious awareness and the mind that exists in this space, the mind is bringing the information to come into the conscious awareness so we can realize it in the body and in the spirit and be present and with all of the things that we are doing and look at everything in a clearer way. And with that comes with adjustments in what we're doing. And so what's significant about this Kazimi is it's also during a balsamic new moon phase, because in the early AM hours of Tuesday morning, July 14th, we're going to have the Cancer new moon at 21, 22 degrees Cancer. And this Kazimi is taking place at 20 degrees Cancer. So Mercury is involved in this new moon portal. And right now the moon's in Gemini still. The moon's at 24 degrees Gemini. So significant that we're having the Kazimi during the Gemini moon transit, and then the following days we have the Cancer new moon, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury and the moon rules Cancer. So we're having to, the moon is another important element. The moon is our emotions, our inner private world that can't really be seen and can only be felt and sensed through our intuition, our emotional perception, and how we feel. So the mind, the inner private emotional world, and the conscious spirit life force are all having to come into harmony right now, mind, body, spirit. And it's in the sign of Cancer, which is the sign of home, of feeling, of coming into resonance with yourself. So I encourage you all today, tomorrow, Tuesday, to take some time in reflecting, in connecting to nature, finding some water, and processing whatever frustrations and emotions and overwhelm of things you have going on in your life, to come into a place of centeredness and harmony with yourself. And there may be a lot of things that you've been going through over the past year because of the Jupiter in Cancer transit. Just before this Mercury station retrograde, Jupiter gave a message to Mercury as Jupiter was getting ready to enter Leo. And the message Jupiter gave to Mercury were all of the uncoverings and the expansions and the lessons that Jupiter was broadening in regards to the Cancerian themes of home, family, mother connection, the mother archetype, nurturing, how we nurture others, how we nurture ourselves, your home country, where you're from, but also ancestry, memories, the cellular genetic memories that we inherit through the mother. And that Jupiter transit in Cancer that lasted for a year was very intense because of the square to Chiron. There were 2 exact squares to Chiron as Jupiter was transiting through Cancer, which opened things up for everyone to process about their family dynamics, their roots, things they've been through in life, with home, with nurturing, with feeling safe and secure in their home environment, in their upbringing. So there's probably been a lot of awkward things that have come up. Perhaps you are a mother, perhaps you are dealing with a mother, one way or another, and certain issues have been coming up over the past year, especially beginning last year in October, November, December. So before Mercury stationed retrograde, Jupiter said, here is a lot of the wisdom that I need your conscious mind to learn and to come into understanding of the greater picture of what you're doing here, why you experience these things, and come to a place of hope and opportunity and optimism. Because ultimately Jupiter is not a melancholy Debbie Downer looking at the dark side sort of thing. Jupiter likes to see the whole picture and philosophize on a greater meaning and purpose with a tinge of optimism and shooting upwards with that Sagittarius arrow of having a higher spiritual connection. So if there have been things going on in your life, especially in regards to family, what is the purpose? What is the meaning? And where can you find spirit in your life to understand the bigger picture and let go of a lot of things? And in addition to all of this, the nodes are about to switch. The nodes are hanging out at 0 degrees North Node Pisces, 0 degrees South Node Virgo. And they've been hanging out at this 0 degree point for about 2 weeks now. And we still have 15 more days. Almost an entire month, the nodes are just hanging out right there at the 0 degree point. And that South Node in Virgo energy has been a great challenge for humanity, because South Node in Virgo is the repeating the pattern, the habit of being too focused on the details, on the facts of your reality and the things you're navigating, to the point where you leave no room for faith and hope of the magic in the universe and the divine and spiritual forces coming in to help. So, for example, me deciding I'm going to go to Ecuador. I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Ecuador. I'm going to start this training. I'm going to do Vision Quest. And it was like the same week I got fired from my job. And then I'm in this process of, how am I going to do it? How am I going to go to Ecuador for a month, pay for all of that, while also pay my living expenses, my bills and all that sort of stuff? Like, how am I going to do that without a job? I'm going to do astrology full-time online. So all the logistical things, right? All the facts and the logistical things and the accounting, based on all of that, logically, responsibly, what most people would have done is say, I can't do it this year. I'm not going to do it this year. I'm not ready. That's the South Node energy, and we're not supposed... With the South Node in Virgo, we've been having to move away from that pattern and move into the North Node in Pisces energy, which is prayer, surrender, surrendering control, surrendering the need to have to know how things are going to fall in place, and having trust in the universe, trust in your path, and trust that things are going to work out. Things will find their way, that there is a higher mind, that there is a higher working order through the universe, through the quantum energy entanglement of things, that will support and bring in just what you need as you need it, to ensure that you arrive to the destination, and that you don't give up before the miracle happens. So we've been in that karmic exchange of things for the last 18 months. We have 15 more days of that. So this Kazimi phase we're in right now is super significant, because I'm an astrologer and I give readings all the time to people all over around the world. I know many of you have been stuck, feeling stuck, because of just the things going on in life. You're feeling hopeless, bogged down, frustrated, overwhelmed. All the odds feel stacked up against you. And the common thread that so many of the people I work with that aren't doing is praying. The things that they aren't doing is surrendering the control, is having faith. They're just in the melancholy nature, and allowing that nervous system with the Virgo tendency to create restlessness, anxiety, illness, hypochondriac tendencies. And so right now is a very important time to make a switch, and feel that power of God, feel that power of the divine. So with that being said, I think this video has been long enough. More to come. I love you all. And don't forget, I am having a sale on readings right now. So if you go onto my website, sleepingshaman.com, and use friendship code 70, you should save some money on a reading. Or another new service that I have as well is called the Full Spectrum Blueprint on my website, which is a 30-minute pre-recorded reading of your natal chart for $80. And so you will receive that pre-recorded reading of your natal chart and the transits. It's a full spectrum natal and transit reading that I will channel for you. And in addition to that, you will also receive a very lengthy, deep dive PDF report of your natal chart. That's about an hour to 2 hours worth of reading material all about you. So highly encourage jumping on one of those so I can help you and you help me as well. So with that being said, peace.